Hi guys and welcome back to the Mighty Blues. Welcome back to the second live stream of today. It is the live game preview ahead of our Premier League fixture against Newcastle tomorrow at St James's Park, away from home. Carlo Ancelotti's first away fixture in charge of Everton Football Club. Literally 48 hours after beating Burnley at Goodison Park. There's no time to rest whatsoever. That's what Carlo Ancelotti has said about tomorrow's game. He said we've got no time to rest, and let's hope that some of the players that weren't involved in yesterday's win against Burnley are available to be involved tomorrow afternoon against Newcastle. Now obviously, as we do with all of the live game previews, I'm going to go through my predicted starting 11, which is just on the left of me there. I've made a couple of changes. Now, I haven't made a couple of changes because I think certain players weren't good enough against Burnley. I haven't made a couple of changes because I think certain players may be injured. I've made a couple of changes because I think Carlo Ancelotti will feel like he needs to make changes due to the thinness of the squad currently already. Obviously, we've got a load of injuries. We've got a load of fitness issues as well. So I think Carlo Ancelotti will feel the need to make a couple of changes here and there to make sure that further players don't get injured. What you don't want is somebody like a Fabian Delph who's only just coming back into playing to start again tomorrow and have to play another 80-90 minutes tomorrow and then end up being injured for the upcoming fixture against Manchester City. We want the biggest and fittest squad that we can have, and that's why I think that Carlo Ancelotti may bring some players in that didn't necessarily feature for an awful long time yesterday against Burnley. So yeah, literally absolutely no time to rest whatsoever. It's disgraceful realistically when you think about it. I am going to have a little bit of a moan because I don't see how we can be expected to play obviously on Boxing Day, which is a Thursday, then on a Saturday, and then further on another Thursday on New Year's Day. It's a joke, but those are what we have to, everybody has to play, and we certainly have to do it ourselves. As you can see by what I'm wearing as well, I've got this nice little Mighty Blues top that my girlfriend quite kindly purchased for me for Christmas, so I thought I'd throw that on for today's video. I think it looks absolutely boss myself, so there you go. We're all Mighty Blues out today to talk about tomorrow's game. Newcastle are in bad form this season, currently sitting 10th in the Premier League. They've won 7, drawn 4 and lost 8 this season, so again, pretty much average form really, bang in the middle of the table, but in terms of Newcastle standards, I think Newcastle fans will be quite happy with the form that they've currently been on. Obviously the biggest, the big loss sort of coming on Boxing Day, losing 4-1 to Manchester United in a game that I watched a bit of, and I don't really think Manchester United were that good, to be perfectly honest with you. I think Newcastle were their own enemies on that day. They were making their own mistakes, they were giving the balls away. Obviously Manchester United's 4th goal came from a direct mistake, and I think it's tough when you lose a game 4-1 and all of a sudden opposition fans and you can sit back and you can look at it and you can go, oh, you were absolutely hammered against Manchester United, when it's not necessarily the case. If you make 2 or 3 mistakes in a game of football and the opposition team you are playing are clinical and they put those they make the most of those mistakes and turn them into goals, then the score does reflect badly on you. And I think that's what happened to Newcastle yesterday night. Newcastle obviously have had less of a rest than Everton. They played the late game yesterday at 5:30, whereas obviously we'd played at 3 o'clock. So whether that hour or 2 difference will mean much, I don't know. But still, both teams, having to play twice within the space of 48 hours. So we'll have to get over that. So yeah, without further ado, I'll dive into my predicted starting 11. I've gone for Jordan Pickford in goal. Didn't have pretty much anything to do yesterday against Burnley. Obviously, Burnley didn't have a shot on target, but any little tiny corner. Any little corner or any little set piece that was thrown in the mix, he dealt with when he needed to. I've gone for the back 4 of Luca Dean at left back. Again, thought he played quite well yesterday. Wasn't at his best. It wasn't the best game I've seen him playing in Everton shirt, but I thought he done what he needed to do. Like I said in the game review, which we've done a little bit earlier on, the left hand side was good yesterday, but I thought the right hand side was absolutely fantastic. So I've gone for Luca Dean at left back. I've gone for Mason Holgate and Yerry Mina to the centre of the defence. Again, absolutely fantastic performances by both Yerry Mina and Mason Holgate yesterday. Very, very strong defensively. Absolutely fine. Carlo Ancelotti himself coming out after the game and saying defensively, listen, we were fantastic. Going forward, we could do with a little bit more, obviously, to make the most of our opportunities. But defensively, there was no issue whatsoever. And I've gone for Jabril Sidibe at right back. Now I just wanna say I don't think Seamus Coleman. I think Seamus Coleman played really, really well yesterday. I thought he had a fantastic game defensively. He done everything that he needed to do. he didn't do anything silly, didn't make any mistakes, and he worked really, really well with Jibril Sidibe pushing up and playing, a high line, playing as the right midfield, and I thought those two, made a fantastic combination. However, I just think Carlo Ancelotti will look at this game, and I think Carlo Ancelotti will look at the fitness of the squad, specifically the fitness of Seamus Coleman this season already. He spent a little bit of time out injured, and maybe change it about a little bit. I think he'll drop Sidibe back in, and he'll take Seamus Coleman out purely because we play again, like I said, on Thursday. And going into a game against a side like Manchester City at the Etihad, who are trying to win as many games as possible at the minute to make sure that they can keep themselves in that title race. I think Carlo Ancelotti will be looking at that right hand side that played yesterday and thinking, listen, maybe I want to go into the game against Manchester City with that same right hand side, with two players on that side that are good defensively but also can cause problems going forward. And maybe he'll have to make that change tomorrow to make sure that both players are fit and ready to go on Thursday. So I've gone for Jibril Sidibe at right back. Again, I've gone for the 4-4-2 formation purely because that's the formation that Carlo Ancelotti went with yesterday. I think he'll change personnel, but I'm not too sure whether he'll change the players, the playing staff. So I've gone for, in a 4-4-2, I've gone for Bernard on the left, I've gone for Tom Davies and Gylfi Sigurdsson in the middle, and I've gone for Theo Walcott on the right. Now Bernard, again, like I said, in spells yesterday, I thought he played really, really well when he got his foot on the ball, when he was challenging people, when he was taking people on, when he was using his pace, when he was using his skill. I thought he was in good form. He did look a little bit hesitant at times to take people on. He did look a little bit hesitant to just get the ball in the box, when realistically, he probably should have got the ball in the box. But again, he's a player that's only just coming back from injury. He's trying to regain his fitness. He's trying to get back to the level he was at the start of the season. And for me, I think Bernard's had a really, really unlucky season so far, because along with Yerry Mina, in the first 2, 3, 4 games of the season, I think Bernard was arguably our best player. To be perfectly honest with you, I think his output was fantastic. You could see that he'd come on leaps and bounds through the summer. Then he got that injury, and he hasn't really recovered since. Obviously, he's only literally just coming back into the team now, having been out since October. Played a fair bit the other day against Burnley. I thought he was absolutely fantastic, and I think he'll start again tomorrow. Tom Davies comes in for me for Fabian Delph. Again, very similar to the Seamus Coleman situation. I think Fabian Delph would be brought out purely to ensure that he remains fit and he goes injury free going into the game against Manchester City. He's a very experienced player. Obviously, he's come from Manchester City, so he knows their setup. He knows the way they play. He knows the style in which they play. So I think he'll be a really, really important asset going into that game. Fabian Delph himself has only just come back from injury, so we don't really want him to be playing another sort of 60, 70, 80 minutes tomorrow, and then getting to Thursday and I'm saying, listen, I'm absolutely bollocks, I can't even be in the matchday squad. So I put Tom Davies in there, fresh legs obviously, come on again, like I said, for 10 or 15 minutes yesterday. Didn't really have that much of an impact, but done what he needs to do and done it quite well. He won a couple of real clever fouls as well, and I think Carlo Ancelotti will feel like he can trust putting him in for this game. Gylfi Sigurdsson next to him. I was impressed by Gylfi Sigurdsson's performance yesterday. I thought Gylfi Sigurdsson done well to intercept the amount of times he did. I think he intercepted more balls yesterday than I've ever seen him do in an Everton shirt. He was getting himself involved when he needed to, and he was breaking play up. I think he could have done a little bit more movement wise off the ball to get himself about, not only to intercept but also to get himself in positions where he can really, really cause Burnley issues. I don't think he done that enough. Don't get me wrong, defensively I have not got a problem with Gylfi Sigurdsson. I thought his defensive duties yesterday were absolutely spot on. He was getting himself in those positions where he could break the play up and he could intercept the ball, but I just feel going forward he could have done a little bit more to be in a little bit more of a creative position when we were breaking forward. And again, obviously we've got a real weak midfield. Let's be perfectly honest, it's between Tom Davies, Gylfi Sigurdsson and Fabian Delph who play in that midfield, or Mason Holgate if you were to bring him up, but I'd keep Mason Holgate at centre half, and then you've only got the three of them really to pick two from. I've then gone for Theo Walcott on the right. We've seen Theo Walcott come on yesterday for the first time since his injury a couple of weeks ago. Spent a couple of weeks on the sideline after the Chelsea game. Again, didn't do an awful lot, but for the sake of like I said, the right hand side partnership that played yesterday, getting a little bit of a rest, Seamus Coleman coming out and getting a little bit of a rest, and Jibril Sidibe dropping back. the natural replacement for whoever's on the right to come in is Theo Walcott. You know, he's been injured for a couple of weeks now. He had a little bit of a cameo appearance, I dare say, to see how fit he is yesterday, and I think he done well. He got himself about. He didn't really create anything. He didn't do anything of note, but he got himself about and he looked fit. So I think that, Carlo Ancelotti will make the most of that and he'll make use of that tomorrow afternoon. And they've gone for the same front two that have played consistently over the last 3 weeks, and that is Richarlison and Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Now, as much as I wanted to put Moise Kean in there, and as much as I want to believe that Carlo Ancelotti will put Moise Kean in there, I think the Moise Kean substitution yesterday spoke a lot of volumes for me. Carlo Ancelotti could have brought Moise Kean on with half an hour to go. He could have brought Moise Kean on with 25 minutes to go. He could have brought Moise Kean on a half time, but he didn't. He brought him on with 10 or 15 minutes to go. Let him have his run out, his big spell of energy and pace. And got him involved in the squad, and that obviously suited Moise Kean yesterday, and that's why I don't think he'll start him tomorrow. I think he'll start with the same front two. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, he's been full of praise with since yesterday's game, an absolutely unbelievable header, obviously, to ultimately win us the game. And Richarlison as well, who come off quite early for me, and I think that was a sign to say, right, you're coming off now because you're going to play. You're going to start on Saturday afternoon. So I think he'll go with the same front two as what has been working over the last couple of weeks. That's my predicted starting 11 anyway. Let me know your thoughts on it in the comment section down below. If you agree, why did you agree? If you disagree, let me know your starting 11s as well. Getting into live comments now. Jack says Pickford, Dean, Mina, Holgate, Sidibe, Davis, Delph, Iwobi, Richarlison, Keane and DCL. I'm not too sure if Iwobi's fit. Regained fitness, obviously. He got injured last week against Arsenal, so I've assumed that he's not fit. But if he is, I wouldn't mind seeing that team. Wormy Spoon says, Cam lad, Merry Christmas and all of that. Merry Christmas to you too. Shane Tosin says, I have a feeling Keane may start tomorrow. I do want that feeling, and I kind of have that feeling, but I just also have an overriding feeling as to say that I just think that he'll go with the same front two, maybe with the idea of bringing Moise Kean on a little bit earlier tomorrow at the 60th minute mark or the 70th minute mark, etc., rather than with 5 or 10 minutes to go. To the says, Cam, who is your favourite non-Everton player to watch in the Premier League? I quite like David Silva at Manchester City, to be honest with you. I think he absolutely oozes quality and class, not just on the pitch, but off the pitch as well. Yeah, and I think he's a really, really fantastic footballer. Sombe Bio Numero Uno says, love the 3-4-1-2. Could see a 4-3-2-2 coming in the future. We definitely have the players for that formation. I agree, fair enough. Alex says, yes, Cam, yes, Alex will be doing well. Hernandez says, tell her to put it up for sale. I'll speak to her. I'll have a little conversation about it with her. I like it. It's a comfy shirt. Obviously, it's got the logo on. It's just something that I think she got me as a little bit of a Christmas present, but I'll have a conversation with her. Let me know if you'd be interested in that in the future. I probably wouldn't do just Mighty Blues merch. I'd do merch that, any Evertonian can sort of wear, that's, got either players on or ex-players on, etc. But anyway, let me know, yeah. Somebody says a 4-3-1-2, of course, the one being the Chiquitista. Not even going to lie, I don't know what that word means. Bernardo Iwobi, I assume that means the number 10. Jack says I mean Gordon instead of Iwobi, fair point. I'm not going to show you the picture of my girlfriend, Toothy. David says weird. Kev says Championship Club should be able to win Tosin in a raffle, worst cycle we've had. I assume he'll be sold this summer, if not in January. Where are we? Wimsey says Lorenzo Insigne. Yeah, so I've literally just logged back onto Twitter this afternoon, and I've seen that Everton are rumoured to be interested in a move for Napoli striker Lorenzo Insigne. An absolutely fantastic footballer. Apparently has a really good relationship with Carlo Ancelotti. Carlo, he's not happy at Napoli apparently, and Carlo Ancelotti obviously is being given this quite large war chest to spend in order to improve Everton's squad. This will be an absolutely unbelievable buy for me if we could bring in Lorenzo Insigne to Everton. Whether he'd come to Everton in the current circumstance, I don't know. Whether the fact that Carlo Ancelotti is the manager of the football club and the wages that he'd be on would be enough to tempt him, I don't know, but I think it'd be an absolutely unbelievable buy, and he is an absolutely fantastic player. Kev says I need City to win today for the 20 nicker footy bet. Let's hope they win then for you. David says, I think he'll leave Sidibe and Dean on the bench to give them a breather. Wouldn't surprise me if Keane starts and Ricci takes a break as well. It really, really wouldn't surprise me. I'm not sure whether he'll make that many changes, but it wouldn't surprise me, I agree. Sombabio says, we didn't have a 4-4-2 against Burnley. Well, it was like, if it's a 4-4-2-5... 3-1-2, whatever. It was a strange formation, wasn't it? Because at times it looked like it was 5 at the back, but then for the majority of the game, it really did look like a straight flat 4, and then a 4 in midfield as well. So we'll have to see what Carlo Ancelotti chooses to do tomorrow. David says we did. I agree. I think we did. William says that the real Cenk Tosun in the chat. Highly doubt it. I'm not going to read that, William, because I don't know what it means. Kev says still a bad team. I wouldn't mind if any of them were replaced. Fair point. Tusi says, of course, the real Cenk Tosun. David says, we had 4 at the back and 2 up front, that leaves 4 in midfield. God says, that seems like a great lineup. We'll have to see if that's the lineup that Carlo Ancelotti chooses. Tusi says, Iwobi's out for 3 weeks. He's out for some time, I know that. William says he didn't respond to my Turkish. Alex says, where are you from, Cam? I'm from literally about 5 or 10 minutes away from the ground. William says, fake surprisingly, unless he's still looking on Google Translate. I don't think it's the real Cenk Tosun, let's be honest. Kev says, what happened to the lad from Germany? We bought for 25 million midfielder. Jean-Philippe Gbamin still out injured. Rumours that he'll be back in February, March time, but we'll have to see. William says, agreed, and Sydney would be class, spot on. God says, when do you think Gbamin will be fit? I would assume within the next couple of months, but again, it would need an update from the club to know any more. And Tuthi says, is out till January, at least probably all of January, yeah. Or probably. If you're enjoying the scene, by the way, so far, please do hit that like button. It means a massive amount to me. Get the stream shared to all of your socials as well. Let's get as many people involved as possible. If you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. So yeah, it's not going to be an easy game tomorrow. Not only are we playing a team that have done well this season and are currently sitting in 10th position and you know, are performing well in a lot of the games that they're playing. Obviously, they have had a couple of games where they've lost, and they've lost quite heavily. But you know, for the majority of the season, they've played well and they've impressed. Not only are we playing, like I said, the team away from home that are in, you know, relatively decent form, but we're also playing a team 2 days, literally not even 2 days, 48 hours after playing, you know, a Burnley side at Goodison Park, who are notoriously hard to beat, who we did struggle against at times, and who we did find it hard to break down. Now, I don't think Newcastle are going to come at us with the same tactics as Burnley did. I don't think Newcastle are going to sit 11 men behind the ball and give us all of the ball at home and say, right, you break us down. I think it'll be a little bit more of a free-flowing game. I think Newcastle will try and get on us. I think Newcastle will try and win a lot of the ball, and that might benefit us tomorrow, because, like I said, we won't have to play against the odds. We won't have to play with all of the possession. But, you know, Carlo Ancelotti said himself, there's no time to recover, and that's what really made me predict changes in this team. I'm saying, you know, hopefully we've got a couple of players fit that weren't fit and weren't available yesterday to be available tomorrow, because basically we're going to need it, because the fitness levels of the squad aren't great, obviously, with the fact that we're playing literally, you know, 2 or 3 games in the space of a week's time, which is absolutely ridiculous. Obviously, Newcastle themselves have got some quality, talented players. John Joe Shelby, you know, when he turns up, he can turn up, and he does like to turn up against Everton as well. Obviously, ex-Liverpool player. Joelinton as well, who they signed in the summer, really, really good striker. And for me, this is a game that, you know, it's a game for Carlo Ancelotti. It really, really is, because it's a game that's going to require a load of top quality management. You know, we're playing, like I said, 48 hours after 48 hours after playing Burnley. We're playing with a side that are, you know, low in fitness, obviously depleted in terms of numbers. So it is going to be a game that Carlo Ancelotti has to look at, and he has to manage well. And it's a big test for Carlo Ancelotti for me. Listen, the Burnley game was a test in itself, due to the side that we were playing and due to the way that Burnley play. But not only that, this game is a whole new sort of kettle of fish. We're playing away from home against a side that are not in, you know, bad form this season. It would, again, will be wanting a big reaction after a massive loss against Manchester United on Boxing Day. So it is a big chance for Carlo Ancelotti, and it's a big opportunity. And if we can go out there and we can get the 3 points tomorrow, then I'll be massively impressed, and I'll be actually quietly confident going into the game against Manchester City on New Year's Day as well. But we'll have to see how we perform tomorrow. Where are we? Wayme says, Cenk got off, not a lot of time on his hands. He also says, by the way, means, hey bro, how are you? Fair enough. David says, if we lose to them, sack the ton. No chance, mate, no chance. That guy says, anyone else think this fixture is absolute bollocks? 2 days rest is just not enough over the Christmas period, always being shy quality football. Exactly, but, you know, that's what Sky are there, you know, to bollocks everybody up, aren't they, and BT and all of that. Jack says, I agree, because Newcastle front 3 is Almiron, Joelinton and St. Maxim. They are pacey, and they've, you know, especially St. Maxim, he's been in good form recently, so we are going to have to be able to defend against that. I just question whether after playing in 90 minutes, literally 2 days ago, whether whether Seamus will have that you know, we'll be able to keep up with that. David says Joelinton is cack, but that Maxi kid is a baller. Again, they've got some good players going forward. I think Joelinton is a player that, you know, I think he is a good player. Maybe he needs to settle a little bit more, but I do think he's a good player. I do rate him. So he says wouldn't mind having St. Maxim in January. Yeah, that's if we could tempt them away. But you know, we're being linked with we're going to be linked with every man under the sun when the January transfer window opens, obviously, because we've got a new manager, and that's just how it goes. Anyway, that's going to do it for today's live stream. If you have enjoyed, please do hit that like button. It means a massive amount to me if you could. If you're new to the channel as well, please do subscribe. It only takes a second. A massive game for Carlo Ancelotti tomorrow, and a massive game for Everton. Listen, we need to go out there and we need to get the 3 points. It's going to be tough. We're going to be playing with a squad that have played an awful lot of football in recent weeks, so it is going to be hard. We need to be at our best. We're playing away from home against the side that, you know, are in decent form, especially at home this season. So we need to go out there and we need to get what we can, and hopefully that is the 3 points tomorrow. Don't forget to join me for the instant match reaction straight after the game. I'll have my instant thoughts straight away to the game, to the result, to the performance. So don't forget to join me for that as well. A big thanks to everybody for watching today. If you have enjoyed, like I said, please do hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new as well. If you haven't already seen, or if you haven't already watched, our live game review to the Burnley game, it is live on the channel. We streamed it about 6 hours ago, about 12:30. So don't forget to go and check. That out as well. A really good review, and you know, loads of people got involved with that, so thank you very much for that. Once again, a big thanks to everybody for getting involved in today's live stream, in the live comments. It means an absolute massive amount to me, and if you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. Toothy says, do you think Pickford is mature enough to not let Newcastle fans get under the skin? That's another thing that he's going to have to massively work on. He struggled with it last season. We lost at St James's Park last season. I think it would be fair to say a lot of that was down to Pickford letting the fans get under the skin and making stupid mistakes. So that's something that he has to work on, and Carlo Ancelotti has to realise and inform him of. David says, in Insigne and Zlatan, Newcastle can keep Maxi. Zlatan's literally just gone to AC Milan today, so that seems over for the time being. But Insigne's definitely still alive, according to some reports. And Jack says, still alive. The rumour's still alive. He is alive anyway, but the rumour's still alive, I mean. And Jack says, I want Ancelotti to have Pickford as a sweeper keeper. We'll have to see how he deals with that one. Anyway, big thanks for watching. Please do hit that like button if you have enjoyed today's team. Subscribe if you're new. Let me know your thoughts on my predictive start 11. Let me know your thoughts on this shirt as well. I really like it myself. Don't forget to join us for the instant match reaction tomorrow straight after the game. I'll be giving my instant thoughts on the performance and the result, and then of course we'll have the live game review within the next couple of days, as well as previews and all sorts of other videos going forward before the new year. Big thanks for watching. Please do hit that like button if you have enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you soon on the Mighty Blues.